the game between our own Rivers Hoopers and, of course, I think Books and Rims, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Hoops and Rings. Talk about Hoops and Rings.
Yes,
Hoops and Rings.
Side. Talked about, customs, they are traditional heavyweights, and of course, ever since, we saw I saw the fixtures, having the last four, I felt that customs were the one to give us a problem. But take nothing away from the other team because they've all done pretty well, to get to these finals. We saw the match between the Hoops and Rings yesterday and customs yesterday, where of course they gave customs as they come. We've been able to, brush aside, our opponent Boko against another opponent owned by Olumide. Let's see how the team fare. But I should think that the fact that they've been on this unbeaten run will motivate them going in. Rivers United, Rivers Hoopers, that support, so we can also, give them, an extra edge with the crowd that will be cheering Rivers Hoopers in that encounter.
And talking about the crowd, the Honorable Commissioner of Sports, by Sir Christopher Green, yesterday, because of how impressed he was with the support the crowd gave to, especially the home crowd gave to the team, #1 million to calm down their nerves after winning the very first fixture.
Today, and I do think that if they can put up another better performance today, they might just get another 1 million or even more than 1 million. So just keeping our fingers, keeping faith with Rivers Hoopers that they will eventually be the ones to represent Nigeria at the ball, maybe making it the second time.
Basketball League Championship ongoing in the city of Port Harcourt is the final. The race to get into the final is hot. And whoever gets the only ticket available.
I think hot is an understatement.
Well, definitely we'll be talking to Queen John in the next couple of minutes from now, where we'll take a look at details of what transpired, technically at this basketball court yesterday between Rivers Hoopers and their counterparts from Boko. I watched the 4 games, the 4 teams, and it looks to me like Boko Chiefs definitely looks like the team that could upset if you go by what we saw yesterday. But I'll wait till when we have Queen John in a short while, maybe a couple of minutes from now. I will look at the technical details of first fixture will be in customs and the Boko Chiefs. That match comes at 3 p.m. Nigerian time. Customs are trying to see how to upset customs. Arguably, do I say one of the tough teams among the 4.
You're talking about the fixture for today. I think you're talking about the one involving customs and Boko Chiefs.
Right.
Well, you see, Boko Chiefs themselves are new in the business. Is at stake, having lost their first game. I should think that the hungrier side will eventually emerge champion in the game between the Boko Chiefs and the customs. But take nothing away from customs. The experience will also count for them.
The experience side, very experienced. If you look at the way they won yesterday, the first 2 quarters.
It takes only an experienced side to come from behind and then go all the way to win.
Hoopers, Rivers, the home side, will be up against Hoops and Reed, and this one promises to be, let's say, one match where Hoopers, Hoops and Reed. So that's one look at the technical aspect of the fixtures that are going on at the Niger Street Basketball Court in Port Harcourt. Meanwhile, we'll go to Marathon now, and the Abuja International Marathon is set to kick off on the 16th of December. Thousands of enthusiastic runners are registering for this international Abuja International Marathon event. This is a festive period, in view, and a lot of sporting activities. We are told that the ECOWAS Abuja International Marathon event has been slated, and a lot of people are registering for the half-kilometer or even the 5-kilometer road race.
Well, I feel bad, to some extent, but I think it's a good one that has been, hosted in Abuja. The reason why I say I feel bad is because most times when we have, these marathons, the foreigners come in and then cut away with their money, and of course, the money is always, in a currency that has, far more value than us, and we're not the ones, getting it. And I think the fact that we're beginning to have marathon, year in, year out, in different states. Lagos will have one, Abuja will have, even Port Harcourt, we usually have 2 in Port Harcourt.
We'll go home with generous prize money. Because the 4th place has $3,500 US. The 5th place, $3,000 US. 6th has $2,000. 7th, $2,000. If you come in the 10th place position, at least you have 10,000 US dollars. I don't want to convert it to naira because that's quite a half back.
But come to think of it, Mr. Cyril, don't you think we can also begin to to look at other areas of athletics?
Well, it takes a lot of preparation.
Yeah, Cross River is there.
Yes. So let's quickly now go to rugby, and the Nigerian rugby football will be discussed. Rugby football is not very
to really look into and see
championship next year in 2024. Scrabble is one event, do I say one sport that
of the English speaking
approaching Lewis Hamilton from Mercedes?
Well, Lewis Hamilton himself, has come out to deny the fact that, he hasn't, made any move, elsewhere. But then, in every rumor, there's some level of, truth. They say there's no smoke without fire. He's had a protracted, contract of that, but you haven't made any negotiation elsewhere. He hasn't been at the top of his game, and every Formula One lover knows that it is because of the Mercedes cars. And if the Mercedes cars are not helping him, knowing that everyone who wants to win Italy, he wants a move, even though he has come to deny it. I said something a couple of days ago. I was discussing with someone. I said, by Djokovic brings, and of course, winning, being at the summit of all competitions, breaking records, month in, week out, and all of that. Those are just motivations, helping the man to continue soaring the way he's doing. Unfortunately for Cameron Norrie, he was unable, to deliver Great Britain, and of course, that's what we saw where Novak Djokovic has been able to manage his Serbian side into the semi-finals. Their next game will be against, Italy, and I don't know what that game will look like, but sometimes, it's not because, he's been winning, and maybe Italy might just be the one to stop them, but I do not want to see Italy stopping them because, he's one man I love so much, and I want to see him keep breaking, the records. Let him do everything, to deliver Serbia.
Serbia, they're into the semi-final of the Davis Cup up against Italy on the Saturday, and it promises to thrilling after that 6-2, 6-4 win. Oh, sorry, 6-4.
It was a smooth one for him.
6-4, 6-4 win, straight set win by match. There seemed to be another occasion between Novak Djokovic and some British fans. Well,
the fact that Cameron Norrie could not deliver Britain while he was being interviewed, they had to play music to disrupt the interview. And for the first time, I'm seeing Novak Djokovic reacting the way he did. Shut up! He had to shut the fans, because they had to. They were interrupting his interview and all of that. It was just the right thing to do. He has won. They should just accept it in good faith. We know that sports is emotional. But then, Great Britain couldn't deliver the goods. And of course, Novak Djokovic and the Serbian side were the winners on the night. It doesn't matter if the noises had continued and all of that. What is very important is that he has been able to move, his Serbian side into the semi-final against Italy.
Novak Djokovic were in the semi-final of the Davis Cup for 2023. We hope he will take out the Italian country, Italy, and maybe get to the final.
Now that you also want Novak Djokovic to take out Italy, I'm in support of Italy now.
You understand now? I'm very sure that he's no match for themselves, and it promises to be very thrilling. But if talking about the man Novak Djokovic, he has shown clearly that
he's on fire. He's on fire. He's got so much gas in him.
Novak Djokovic having a lot of
a fine wine.
Yeah, it gets better with age. At the age of 38, he's still winning. He's just won a Grand Slam this year. He's ended his season as world #1. He's been
the highest number of with the highest records.
What?
Especially in a situation where the younger generation are knocking and have not been able to open the door. We saw Alcaraz, was able to open the door, but he hasn't been able to keep that consistency. And I hope this is not the end of his career, because we've seen young players, after breaking through 1, 2, 3, go back to sleep.
Novak Djokovic powering on at the Davis Cup. Is at that point, we would like to take a break. And when we return from the break, we'll bring you, hopefully, Queen John, and giving us the details of what to expect today at the basketball court, and thereafter we'll go to the ever busy world of football. Alan FC versus Enyimba International. Ooh, this weekend promises to be very thrilling, especially in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Stay with us.
Killing him not to counterpunch.
Welcome back. Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network, and I have Sarah with me. I've just been joined by Queen Mosef. Queen Mosef is the media officer of Rivers Hoopers, the basketball team of Rivers State, in the Final Four, looking for the final ticket that will take Hoopers to the basketball league in for 2023. Nice to have you, and good morning, Queen.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
It would be nice to have you, and I must say congratulations for yesterday. It looks like it was going to be 20-6. You would think that it was going to be easy, but the second quarter was far reduced in terms of the point difference between Rivers Hoopers and the Boko Chiefs. The third quarter looked better, but the the fourth quarter looked even more difficult for Rivers Hoopers.
Yes, most games are always like that because it's something you wouldn't know how it would turn out. Especially the team we've never met before. I mentioned yesterday before the game. I said we've never met before, and this is like their fourth time in the league. So you know how they play. In as the players have watched game highlights and their previous games on the YouTube channel. Even the players at that conference, they usually stream the games right in our farewell, pulling up there because we know that potentially might make so we're expecting the game to be tough and also considering the fact that most Chiefs were coming and on confident won a tournament in our so they're not confident. They even went as far as going to the commissioner's office and they're confident that we're going to get a victory. They even came with fans with bands, but their fans could not outsmart us, or will I say outsupport us, because you guys from our fans was very massive. They couldn't just overpower us anyway. So we're expecting the game to be very tough because first game are like that. If you can get first game, it builds your momentum and get into your groove. And don't forget that this team has not played after 2 weeks or so. The last time we played in Africa. So you know you are not in competition mode at the moment. That first game is expected to try to put you into game shape. And also considering the opponents, what it needs to beat Rivers Hoopers on home court. I can only mention a few lost 27 goals, just Falcons, that to the home court. In 26 was awesome. So you hardly beat Rivers Hoopers on home court. It's just the life of Victor Koko, who is the captain, and also the vice captain, which when two who have played this home court because when part of the 2017 team, they understand what it means to play for the Port Harcourt fans with noise, with the roughness and everything, with shouts. They know how to play their game, their cool, their calmness, play your game, and then deliver. So these are new set guys who are just playing in front of the crowd for the very first time. So inexperience of how to play games things like this, of a very noisy crowd, is kind of new to them. So at some point they started really well. So but maintaining, they got carried away with the players and the crowd and the child. So that drive or that motivation to give the fans something to check. So rather than play a good man rotation, player rotation, rotate the ball well, they were not trying to play iso ball. You are playing iso ball in basketball. It means you are a slow play. In football, we say you want to play strong. So those so runs and those ice in football, we say you want to play strong. So those so runs and those ice plays was where what got us to we got them into the game. That gave them some confidence. They got aggressive us, and it became aggressive. They settled. This game is ours to lose. Where they just spoke themselves. We very well. We can't let this game go from us. The same people who tried to throw away the game away settled down, got into that game, and they picked victory. It was excellent. But I tell you, still, if this game was a neutral ground, I think it would be a 10 or 15-point victory. That's just the truth. And how City Chiefs play and how we play is just because some of us were carried away by the players and all of that, so they do so well. Or which coach has admitted and he hopes to work on this. He understood what it means in front of the fans.
Well, Queen, let's look at the opposition now. You've won the first game. Custom has won the first game. From what we saw of Customs yesterday, they look like a team that know how to play the third and the fourth quarter. They came from behind to, to upset Hoops and Reeds. And I haven't seen all the other three teams in action in Port Harcourt. Are you still confident of getting the only ticket, because you are aware that it will not just be the points win or will matter at the end of the day?
I'm confident, know that if any game I was going to get me very was the game against going to be the game against Customs yesterday. And some point you look at and you know that okay, yes, it's a game that we might find difficult. So those things, I don't think that those of games are there. I understand that yes, the first game will do that, which will ease a whole lot of pressure, because the most important one is the first game. One can get the first game, not like the other games will be easy, but it will get into your momentum and your growth, and you will settle in. If you miss out on your first game, it's difficult because you are on a whole lot of pressure. Your second game, we are playing against two today. Very good, or better than you, it's better than you. And we proved that in our career when we met Lagos Legends. They are one of the top to repeat itself today. Even for Hoops, they are even under immense pressure because they lost their opening game. They also lost to Korea. So I think that pressure on them that the revenge should be on minds come against Super get to revenge. And you don't want a team comes with that mentality that to revenge loss. And when you against Paris yesterday, I just knew that they were going to stand up at the end of the day. Got an experience side. They might start really scrappy. They might start to slow. But what an experience and a good side will always do that will come time the second half. Basketball is always won in the second half. The basketball could start well, but if at the end of the day you come in the second half, you cannot win again. And that is what happened to Hoops. And we played really well, but the experience of the first time just had to be superior over. So I think it will still be rough at the end of the day. Customs and don't forget to cannot just completely rule out what City can do, because City also at the back of their minds that love to custom best in Abuja. I thought easily. So looking to against
I saw your coach very livid on the sideline with officials. Do you think the officiating so far has been top notch?
That doesn't work. It can't be 100%. It also goes to show that our officials need not very like reps, them out, their officers are very easy to have in the country. But when you make some mistakes that you could avoid, then you get to question capabilities. The thing is that what my coach will step up is bring me check. Because if you don't bring me check, sometimes they will just have their way. They lost because of appreciating, or they won because the referee favored. But both ways, it's not just one way.
Thank you very much, Queen, and I allow you, and I hope to see you soon. Sarah is here; she will see you definitely, during the first game, and of course the second game, which will be Rivers Hoopers versus Hoops, at the Niger Street Basketball. Thank you. Well, back to the studio now, and quickly, Sarah, let's look at
like you said, for Heartland, I should be teaching them, to get a win. The last game they played, they had a draw, and this time around, they'll be playing and they have a new gaffer in town. So all the players who want to express and we know the quality Coach Boboye brings to the table is his first match, and he has assured the fans they should be expecting their first win.
Coach Boboye, new, do I say the new coach?
Maybe we need to add Coach Boboye, Port Harcourt boy.
A Port Harcourt boy, Coach Boboye. I saw him at this time. But don't forget, Rivers United have already arrived with you. Venue of the encounter this weekend against an Angolan side in the CAF Confederations Cup. It promises to be thrilling. Early arrival, they did arrive yesterday at the Gospel Aquabio Stadium in New York?
Well, they have no choice, so they are condemned to get the result. Is that they will be able to, get or put up, a good performance, on the continent. They've been well motivated. I hear, their bonuses and everything, has been released to them and all of that. So, I mean, they don't have any excuse. They are one of the most, motivated side here in Nigeria. So we hope that they get to show that in their performance on the field of play.
Rivers United waiting and talking about the opponents from Angola. They should have arrived town as well, and it promises to be very thrilling this weekend at the Gospel Aquabio Stadium in the CAF Confederations fixture.
So one are in a better position to get the result because I mean they have a stable mindset rather than Manchester United, who are facing about 115 financial fair play rules charges.
What is good for Everton should be good for Manchester City.
You can say that again. They started already. The Premier League cannot go back, so they must. If Everton is getting 10 points match reduction, I think that of Manchester City will be bigger because I mean they have bigger charges.
Have
115 charges.
So that's quite a number. But talking about fixture this weekend in Premiership in England, Newcastle United will take on Chelsea. Do I say revamped Chelsea? They've started winning games. Can they upset Newcastle at home?
Well, Chelsea themselves, are revamped, like you said. We've seen them in their last, 2-3 matches. That shouldn't be a worry for, the Chelsea side, given the fact that, they look like a revamped side. Let's see what they play when they go up, against Newcastle United. Newcastle United, yes, they've also struggled a little, especially, in Europe. But it's